Hola a todas, bienvenidos al Regalo de Vivir. Yo soy su host, Valeria Reyes. Welcome everyone to the podcast, The Gift of Living. I am your host, Valeria Reyes. And you can find me in social media as Valeria Te Ayuda. And right now, I have with me such a incredible guest who has a very inspirational story. His name is Mike De Leon, and he's from Tijuana. But he came to live in the U.S. when he was 3 years old, and I hope that he can share more of his story with us today, tomorrow, the morning, whatever time it is that you're watching this right now. And for those of you who don't know you, Mike, can you share a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Absolutely. And thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm humbled to be here in your presence and doing this podcast for you. This is my first time doing a podcast, and it's a great honor for me. My name is Mike De Leon. I'm 42 years old. I was born in Tijuana, and I came here at the age of 3, and I've been just kind of living my life out here since then, and it's been nice, and living through different situations of my life that I had to overcome, which I think is what we're going to discuss today.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. And how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. A little tense, right? It's my first time doing this, but I'll get through it, and I'm excited more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm very happy that you're here, and we spoke a little bit before when we had this interview in the podcast, and I really want to touch upon a few things. The first one, I really loved how you told me all your story, how you become the person who you are now, and of course, in order for you to become who you are, you had to go through some hardships, and you had to see the learning lesson of the things that were happening to you. We speak in this podcast about people who have gone through the experience of ayahuasca in particular, or other plant medicines, but not only that, other tools as well. But in this time, so that people know this ahead of time, we'll be speaking about his journey with the plants, the medicines. And I would love for you to tell us how was that you got started with the medicine, what brought you there, and how did you know you were ready for it?
Yes. So the first time I did ayahuasca, I was 38 years old. What really brought me the calling to it was I started doing some self-reflection on my life, and trying to understand why, no matter what I did in life, like I always ended up in the same situation, especially with relationships. They were always very unhealthy relationships, and I spent an entire life just pointing the finger outward, blaming the women I was dating. Like I would label them like, oh man, they're crazy. They're these. Why do I find all the crazy women? And I spent my whole life like that. And then one day I just had to really stop and ask, like, okay, what's going on here? Like, instead of pointing outward, I had to start pointing at myself. Mm-hmm. Like, what was it about me that was so drawn to this type of woman into my life? And it all began with there was this girl. Her name was Lisa. Mm-hmm. I thought she was my soulmate. I really thought she was my soulmate. Like I felt it down to my core. And she was not the healthiest option for me, but for whatever reason, like I tried very hard to make it work. And then after that breakup is when I started to really do some self-reflection as to why I like that, why I don't like how I didn't like how I felt, but I couldn't get away from that person, from that feeling. It was like a safety for me, like the toxicity. Mm-hmm. I call it toxicity. It's just like, it's trauma bonding. So I found ayahuasca in Mexico, of all places, where I was born, in Tijuana. Mm-hmm. We with our team Bahaya and Ayahuasca Mexico.
Yes, yoo-hoo!
yeah. Oh man, it's such a blessing because I was born in Tijuana. And then I feel like I found myself in Tijuana, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice.
So the first time you did ayahuasca, so there are a couple of things that I want to touch upon.
Yeah.
The first one is, had you ever done anything related to self awareness or anything that was related for you to become more aware of or conscious about the things that you were doing? For example, let's say therapy or any other kinds of healing forms. You know, have you ever done anything before ayahuasca, or were you already going for ayahuasca?
I had tried therapy.
Okay.
But in my eyes, my ego was not allowing me to believe that there was anything wrong with me. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. I thought I was okay. I thought it was normal. I tried therapy just to see like what kind of reaction I would get. I never had a connection. Like I know there's good therapists out there, and I know that a lot of my friends have therapists that have helped them out tremendously. But the ones I went to, I never really got anything from it. And I was very closed off with my emotions. I also did recreationally mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to tap in more into the spiritual aspect of things. But this was more for fun, you know, because I used to like hanging out with friends and we'd laugh and hang out. But it was never guided.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So you went to the mushrooms for fun.
Yes.
And then it opened up something that you didn't know it was there. And you were like, okay, maybe there is something in here that can help me heal.
Yes.
And so when you had that thought process, did you look for places that did ayahuasca in Mexico, or was it something that happened out of synchronicity?
Out of all people, my mom told me about ayahuasca. She's the one that found the group that I consider my family now. My mom was born in Tijuana, and she has a childhood friend that she's always stayed in contact with. Her childhood friend recommended to go there, and my mother suffers from migraines, so she was like, well, maybe this might help you with, you know, dealing with whatever's going on. So when I heard she was going, I was like, well, I gotta go, you know. So I went with my mom the first time.
Well, what is your mom's? I mean, I don't know if you can tell me later.
No, I'll tell you.
You can tell me. Okay.
Yeah, my mom's name.
Yeah, maybe I have seen her in there. I don't know. Or do you always go together?
She only went once.
Only went once.
Yes,
okay.
she did not like her experience at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hard for her.
Oh, it was like a hard truth to see.
My mom is built a little bit different, where like she lives in fear and doesn't want to face the challenges that come up. But what I saw for me, it intrigued me. Even though it was scary at first, but it intrigued me as to like what are the possibilities here. That I was with my mom. It was great. I've been trying to take her back since, and she's I think one day she'll come.
Wow. Okay. Yes, I think this is an important point, because sometimes people they do have a very like intense experience, and from what I've learned throughout this whole process and speaking to other facilitators is that ayahuasca is a what is the word? Potentializador. Potentializes. It increases, magnifies. It's a magnifier.
Oh yeah.
Of whatever is inside of our minds, consciously and unconsciously. Yes. So it doesn't mean that. I mean, it just means that whatever way you're speaking to yourself, ayahuasca is going to reflect that back to you. So if you have a very inner critic, you have an inner critic that is very detrimental or is based on fear, that's just going to show up during the ceremony. And it's a hard lesson to learn, because you won't necessarily get it the first time that you go. And so that's why it's important to have integration and to have resources and tools to help you navigate whatever happened during the experience. This is my understanding as of today.
I think that's spot on. Yes, okay. Definitely. Because it took me... the first time was very difficult, like to really see everything. I didn't understand what was going on. All I know is that I had tapped into my subconscious mind, and I started to hear all the voices that I never knew were there. And I was pretty much being ridiculed for living my life the way I had been. It was fake. It was a facade. And it offered a lot of introspection as to the pain that I caused in other people's lives by putting me in their shoes, and I was able to feel what the pain that I caused in them. So now I had an understanding of what that felt like to them. So I apologized to a lot of people after that, needless to say. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I apologize.
Were you instructed by the medicine to apologize to these people, or was it something that you decided after going to the ceremonies?
I decided after the ceremony because I knew it was the right thing to do, because it was, I didn't realize how much, like, by my way of being, how much pain I caused in other people, and my way of not being. And so I had to release them from that too, especially like I say, like, like the women were toxic, but I was toxic myself, where I would, it was a very toxic relationship where it was never violent, but like it was very mental, where we would fall in love with each other, and it would be so easy for me to just detach from the relationship, and I hurt a lot of women, like deeply, and I had to call them and apologize to them to let them know that it was never them, it was me.
I see.
It was me causing that pain because I was hurting inside myself.
So you took full responsibility.
Full responsibility, yes.
And after that, you continue to do ayahuasca.
Yes.
Continue to see more truths.
Yes.
Along the way.
Yes.
And what else happened?
So I started to, see that perspective. My father took off when I was 8 years old. My father was, he was young, and he had a lot of pain inside of himself as well. So he would drink a lot. He would do drugs. He was a womanizer. He was violent with my mom. So I remember like hearing him like punching my mom in the other room. We used to live in garages, but like it had like a separation, and I could hear him like literally like punching her. And I was like 5, 6 years old, and I just remember feeling so helpless, and my throat was so knotted up, like it was bad, So when he left, even at that age, I knew that it was best for me that he was not in my life, so he would not influence me in that sense. But I still grew up with that lack of having a positive role model in my life, a male positive role model in my life, and and that followed me on to adulthood. So that came up on the third experience with ayahuasca. Where I started to heal that aspect, where I got to really forgive my father for him not being there in my life, and for also everything that he was, the good things that he was, and also the bad things, and understanding like why he was the man he was, because he was also harboring a lot of pain inside of himself, because he came from a fatherless relationship with his mother, and it was just cycles repeating, and I was able to really truly understand the whole aspect of how generational cycles repeat, because I was living it as well. And I had a daughter. I have a daughter. When I turned 20, she was born when I was 21. And it was also very easy for me not to be in her life as well. So the cycles were repeating. And I couldn't judge him, because like I understood. Like I understood what it feels like. I understood how like that disconnection comes from not being in someone's life, and me not having a father, and how easy it was for me to just like abandon. And I think that's where it stems from, my abandonment issues of letting go. So I got to see that through my third experience with ayahuasca, and that's where that was my first time I purged. I was holding like I didn't want to throw up in that little bucket, like you're like,
yeah.
You're hearing everybody throw up, you're like, oh my God, why are they doing that?
Yeah.
And then after that, like I just released all that energy, the pain that I had inside myself, and it was possibly one of the most satisfying purges of my life. Was as I'm throwing up, I'm thanking God, and I'm like, thank you, God, and I'm like, that's how good it felt.
Were you one of the loud ones? And there's some people that are actually super loud when
I know. Oh my!
And it's like, what's with this person?
Yeah. No, I try to keep it quiet, but it's not like I'm not trying to like be loud, but when it comes out, it comes
just
out,
Yeah.
So it felt great to release all that pain, and now like I'm a fan of it. So whenever I go do medicine, like I command my body, like everything that does not pertain to me energy wise, like must go out now. So I throw up every single time, at least once. Yeah, or at least energy.
Wow. Some people have this conception, or maybe, I don't know, if you look at this in a more scientific way, people think that, maybe you are getting poisoned and that's why you're throwing up. But once you go there and experience the medicine, actually it's not poisonous, because we have DMT in our body, so you're not gonna be having that reaction because it's harming you in any way. I mean, it's completely the opposite. It's releasing some energy. But if you haven't experienced the medicine, it's easy to say, oh yeah, like it's just, I don't want to experience that. It's annoying, it's uncomfortable. But once, as Mike has said, like when he did it and experienced it, you just felt a lot of release, and you do feel the release. And usually when I was throwing up, I could feel like I was just letting go of just things that I was carrying onto my body, onto my being. And it was, I'm really glad that you got the opportunity to just release all of this pain and suffering, or any other emotions that you had holding on to this whole time, and that you weren't even aware, right?
I was not aware.
Yeah.
I was operating my everyday life not knowing that I was carrying this pain inside myself my whole life. But how I was able to gauge that there was something wrong with me was through my results in life. And that's what was showing it. Like, yeah, I was in denial. I have become really good at like stuffing my emotions and pretending like everything's okay, but my results were showing otherwise.
When you went to the ceremony, and probably if you were just putting everything, evading or suppressing your emotions, you probably felt like the Pandora box opened. After you went through the ceremony, following up, like afterwards, did you feel that you were feeling everything more intensely?
Yes. One thing that I noticed is that, I was definitely, I felt more connected to just everything, like nature and people. I felt like, I felt like a vibration around me, like I was tingling. But I would notice that it would go away after a while. And that's where the challenge was, where like I was trying so hard to kind of like heal, but my subconscious mind, my programming will start to come back up again. And that's the part that I did not understand. Like why am I doing so much healing, but yet my old patterns still come up? Why do I still wake up feeling like crap sometimes? Why do I still wake up like not in the mood to do anything, right? So there's like I feel like I'm doing so much healing, but there's still something there, So, yeah, I think it's a constant work. Constant work always, definitely. I think one of the most profound experiences was when I did Bufo.
Oh yes, I think yes.
Can I share that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. That was at the third one. That was after the third ayahuasca ceremony. I wanted to. I don't know. I think it was my ego. Like when I would always go up there and be like, okay, I'm gonna take 2, 3, to just kind of like, I can do this, like trying to be tough. But I think it was my ego. So I wanted to go even further. So I heard about Bufo, the Sonoran frog. So after the ayahuasca ceremony, the following day, everybody left, and it was just me and one other person. And I went first, and that was, obviously you smoke it from a little pipe. It's the frog poison. And as soon as I inhaled it and I held it, and everything just went foggy white. Like everything was just like, everything got really beautiful. And I've tried to describe the sound that I was hearing, but I heard bells in the back. It was very sacred, and I felt the presence of God for the first time in my life. I had been looking for God for my entire life. I grew up Catholic. I started going to Christian churches. I always wanted to connect to know that there is a God, and that was the first time I knew that God is real, and it changed my life forever, because I felt him come into, it's not even him. I can't even explain it. It's an energy. But I felt a really profound love come over me, a love that I've never felt in my entire life. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. I literally started having like a spiritual experience. Like if I were to reenact it, I'd feel uncomfortable doing it right now. Like it was beautiful. It was sacred. It was angelic. It was something that truly changed me after that. I had known up to that point, I knew that everything that I thought was right for me, that I was chasing in my life, it was a lie. It was a lie. And I knew that I had to do something different with my life, and start to dedicate my life to the truth, and serving others, and living by our truth. Mm-hmm. And spreading that love to everyone. It changed me. It really did. It still took some time. I'm still figuring it out, like how that's all going to look, but I know what my purpose is in this life now.
When was it that you did Bufo?
That was probably about 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Do you feel that when you went through the experience, the theme was connecting with just being with God? Or was it other stuff showing up? Because I know that it lasts like 20 minutes or ish.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
But you go like full in immediately.
Yeah.
Because it just like goes to the brain much faster than being digested.
Yeah. It's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The way I can explain it is, that scene of The Matrix, when Neo gets to the final, when they consider the God and there's like cameras everywhere, and where he finally started to like comprehend everything. I kind of felt at that point like everything made sense at that point. And like, but I always knew the truth. It's just like the veil was removed. And I realized that like I need to start living my life differently, and living with purpose, and looking to make a difference in this world. And that's what I've been doing.
Amazing.
Slowly but surely, and it makes that's what brings me joy, like just to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. So serve. I think it's great what you're doing here.
You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have to say something about the transformation that you've experienced. That a lot of the work that I do is that I want to bring more grounding into the whole experience of plant medicines, right? Because sometimes you hear, oh, like this person, like it's another person completely. And he claims, or she claims, that she became a complete different person after doing it. And people are very skeptical about this. They are, I don't know, they just really don't think that it is possible. People believe that other people cannot change. When you went through your own personal transformation, did you run into people that didn't believe you, that you didn't change? How did you navigate that? Or even yourself, maybe after a while, like questioning yourself that, oh, maybe, am I really changed? When did you recognize you were truly changed?
I think it's a journey, and it's important to understand that as we're going through this spiritual journey, we're all going at it at our own pace. It's not like it happens overnight. It's not like I did medicine and boom, all of a sudden I'm a changed man. Like
this is an important point.
Yeah. It took a while because I had a lot of vices that were still controlling my life. I like to drink a lot of alcohol. I used to do drugs. I had I love chasing women, right? Like and things that were not in line with like the person I was trying to become. So I started to understand that when I have these vices and I'm trying to portray this person, it just doesn't look right, because it's like you're not authentic. Like how am I gonna be saying that, like, hey, come do medicine, let's be a better person, but yet I'm still going out on weekends, drinking all night with my friends, or doing drugs, or chasing random women like I've been in my past. So I knew I had to get a control of those vices, so I can show up that way, authentically, because then I'd just be a hypocrite. Like how am I gonna be portraying this changed man, but I still have the same vices that I've had my entire life? And so it's been some work. It took some time. It started to like remove myself from those situations. I spent a lot of time alone, and it's been a work in progress. It didn't happen overnight. I'm still working on it. I'm not quite there completely, but I'm doing my best to be the best version of myself. And yes, of course, people thought I was crazy. People still think I'm crazy, right? But me knowing what I know from what I've seen through all my experiences is that I know I'm living my truth. And I don't care what people think about me. And I'm going to always represent the truth, and I'm always going to be a server of God. No matter what, I will always be a servant of God, a servant leader of God. And whatever he puts on my way for a calling, I will be there to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I experienced the same as you, that I'm constantly being put to test in a way, and that some of the old patterns and the thought processes start to repeat. And when I started the medicine, I had to face them, and I had to see them, and slowly but steady, or just realizing that you have your whole life to apply the tools that the medicine is giving you. But you are the one who's creating that, nobody else. And so when you think that, oh, I'll just go and do medicine and everything will be solved, that's the biggest lie that you can hear if somebody is telling you that. You actually have to put into the work of everything that the medicine might show you. And so it's wonderful that you're taking that decision every day, because this is just a decision. What separates you from creating a different life is making the decision and living up to it, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And it is a decision, definitely.
It is a decision.
Yeah.
What are the decisions that you're making right now? And you've mentioned the coaching program. If you can
absolutely.
go more in depth.
So what I found, life presented to me. You know, I don't find that there's any mistakes in life. You know, a friend of mine brought me to this. It's called a transformational training. It's in LA. It's a mastery and transformational training. It was a 3-day event. I agreed to do it because she's a good friend of mine, and she was like, "Well, you trust me, right?" She didn't want to give me any information what's it about. I'm like, "Well, what's it about?" She was like, "I can't tell you, blah blah blah," right? So, but you trust me. It's like, I trust you. Okay, well, how much is it? $700. Like, what? $700? You go for 3 days and okay, fine. So I went to go do it reluctantly. I didn't do any research. I just showed up. My mind was kind of trying to pull me away from it. Like, why am I doing this? I'm wasting my time. But as I went through this program, it's a leadership program that teaches you how to have emotional intelligence, how to those little voices that we get in our head, how to remove those and how to address them. And that's what was missing in my life, because when I would go do ayahuasca, I would come back very enlightened, but those little voices would come back again. So now I got like guidance as to how to deal with that. We call them nerds, rackets. These are the voices that are always going to be the things that tell you that you're not good enough. You're afraid, your fear of failure, all that stuff. Like, you face all that stuff. And I started to notice immediately that through this group setting, how there was still a lot of work inside of myself that I still needed, despite all the ayahuasca I had done. Because I thought I had the knowledge. It had been given to me that, you know, the secret to life is love, but I wasn't applying it. You know, I wasn't living it. And this gave me an opportunity to feel what it feels like to love, to really look into someone's eyes and give them a hug, like a real good hug without passing judgment, and then seeing how it made me feel afterwards. So I noticed that there was something there that, and I've continued. I went through the entire program. Now I've been there. I did the basic, I did the advanced, and I did the legacy program, which is a 4-month program. And throughout this program, things start to come up because it's actually spiritual. It's very spiritual. Like when you start to understand how life works, it brings up situations in your life that you still need to work on through other people. That's how life works. Like, you're always attracting what you are. So, like, for instance, like for me, I've always been afraid of rejection. So of course there was opportunities where I was getting rejected a lot within the program.
I see.
So I get to acknowledge what's happening and pay attention to it. And it's like, okay, so what am I going to do to kind of like break through that limitation that I have of myself, where I stop internalizing how I take someone else rejected me, essentially, and not making it feel like it's a part of my self-worth. And when I had that breakthrough, everything started to open up for me. Like, I stopped getting rejected. Like, you know, it's like the results show. Mm-hmm. So it's a powerful program. I love it. I go and I volunteer my time. I staff like the events, and it's amazing. Like, I love it. And it's a big community. So, and of all people who understand that we're always attracting what we are in life. Everything's energy.
That's great.
Yeah.
Are those the people that you brought down to Bahia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How was it for them? I mean, I know that they can speak for themselves, but in general, like.
They absolutely loved it. They loved it. They said it was one of the best things they've ever experienced. My idea behind doing that was because the people in Bahia, they're my family. I love them very much. They dedicate their lives to serving humanity, to making them better. And then I have my group over here in LA who also does the same thing. You know, but without the medicine, right? But it's still the same work, right? I feel like we're doing God's work. So I wanted to connect both worlds. So when I brought them down there, they loved it. And not just that, like the people of Bahia also were in love with them too. I spoken to several of them. They're like, yeah, you can tell they've done some work, you know. So it was nice. They're asking when are we going to do another one. So
Wow, they're ready.
yeah. So we're thinking maybe March.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I think this is an important point where you have some tools before and after that allow you to process everything, because
Yes.
otherwise you may be taking the medicine, be enlightened, then come back, forget, then go back to the medicine, become enlightened, then forget, and this just becomes a cycle.
Yes.
And from what I've heard from Alonso del Rio is that you can become your own liar, even if like the medicine can show you, but then you go back to the old being or the old habits, and then you can get into the cycle, because we have much more control than we think and during these experiences. So I think it's wonderful that you have found the tools in this program. Yes. Because it has just become part of your mission, part of who you are and who you're going to serve. How about, I'm curious about how you live your intuition as a male. You know, sometimes I'm reading right now Women Who Run with Wolves. And it's a book that talks about women and how we can connect with our wild women within ourselves, and the woman that knows as well, and other kinds of women that are all within ourselves. But for men, after going through the ceremonies and going through the coaching programs, how can you discern when it's your inner critic and it's your intuition? Do you feel more your intuition after all of this?
One thing that I have found for myself is that whatever's causing me discomfort, it's exactly why I should do it.
Okay.
Because that's been my beacon, my light. You know, before that used to be the reason why I don't do it. But now I know that the biggest lessons comes from the things that are making me feel uncomfortable to do it. So I always have something to learn from facing those challenges, the things that cause, I would say, a little anxiety. Or if I'm like, oh, if something comes up and I don't want to do it, that's exactly why I do it. And every single time that I do that, there's always a reward.
I see.
It's beautiful. So when you start to look at things like that, like opportunities, like I've seen it time and time after, like all the time. Like there's synchronicities everywhere.
Okay.
And in this realm, you know, it's not like you don't have to go do medicine to do it. Like we got synchronicities everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So, for example, going back to the original problem that you wanted to solve was that I want to have better relationship with my partners or my partner, the one that I'm choosing.
Yes.
After going through all this, you probably went through a phase where you were tempted to go back to the old patterns, and that felt the most comfortable place to be. Did it continue to feel the most comfortable, or was there some truth that didn't allow you to be in those situations anymore? How did you navigate that? I hope that you understand my point.
Yes, I do. So yes, I did go back. The short answer is I did go back to my old ways, because it felt like I was being tested. Like I was being tested. So like they would, all right, here you go. Here's a very beautiful woman, the type of girl you like, you know, and yeah, I failed. But I also learned through that experience, and that's not what was for me. So what I made a conscious decision to not date, to stop dating. I stopped dating for about a year, and like just stopped doing anything, you know, just because I wanted to control my natural urges, if so to say. till I got really good clarity on that, and I decided what was good for me or not. So that worked out for me. And
did it still feel uncomfortable, like going through that another
yeah
route? Did
yeah
it feel uncomfortable? Did it feel scary?
Yeah.
Did it feel like it was not your natural state?
I mean, it was more lonely than anything, you know, because you're used to like always having someone, you know, someone to share, you know, relations with. But I became comfortable being alone and being okay with it. Like even going like to weddings, going alone, going to certain events by myself. Like I was okay with it. Before I wasn't. You know, I needed to have someone with me to make me feel whole, you know, because I had lacked a lot of self-love for myself. I needed to have someone there to kind of prove to myself and to prove to my imaginary people that I'm thinking that I was worthy. Now, like if someone comes into my life, like I decide if, you know, if they're good for me, then yes. If they're not, then they can't be in my life. Because I love myself more.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
¿Alguna pregunta te ocurre, amor? No? You're good? Let me think. I think it's been wonderful to speak to you and hear about the whole process. And am I missing something that we spoke before that you wish to share?
I can share anything. I'm an open book.
Okay.
You know,
Is there anything you'd like to share?
Anything? Let me see. Yeah, just, you know, my biggest takeaway from doing plant medicine is don't be afraid to go inward, because I think that's where all our answers are inside of us. We always try to look outside of us, but it's inside where all the answers are. And it's beautiful to have that, you know. So don't be afraid to take that route for yourself. If you're thinking about it, do it. Do it. It's been one of the best things that I've done in my life. It really has. It's just the experiences I've had. I go all the time. I go often because and my friends are like, they think I'm crazy. They're like, well, why do you go so much? Blah blah blah. Like, what are you running away from, right?
Same.
And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm in heaven. You know, like it's beautiful. Why wouldn't you? You know, like, and then like they play some beautiful music. Like it's sacred. Like I feel blessed to be in their presence and the presence of. Oh man, it's just it's so nice. I go maybe once every 3 months for like a tune-up, you know, and just to remove anything that's not serving me energy wise, clear up and to make sure I'm showing up in the world in that way. And I people feel it. Like, you know, when they come up to me, they're like, there's something, like there's an energy about you, you know. And like everywhere I go, I always attract like people who are like us. Like what I mean by us is like they're on the same movement as us, who understand why we're here and the secret to life, right? To serve, to be to speak the truth and connect with love and treat everyone as, you know, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all a reflection of each other. So let's do our best to change the world. And that's what I really like. That's really what my passion's at, is just to change the world where we can all show up authentically and with love and heal this world. Because we all deserve it. We all deserve it. Like I want a better future for our kids, for all our generations, and like I'll do my part, whatever I can do, to make that impact in my little vicinity and create a ripple effect in other people's lives and just let it spread, just all the love in the world. Why not? It's beautiful. It feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. We were talking about the challenges in terms of the health.
Yes.
And you were like, maybe I can share a little bit about that. What are your lessons? What are the things that you're learning as of right now with what's happening with you?
Health-wise?
No, with your family. You mentioned before that when you went to the medicine.
Yes. Are you talking about the cancer within my family?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, a lot of that stuff, I feel that's a lot of emotional trauma that it's unresolved. And also the diet that, all the food that the things they put in our food. I had a deep introspection during, I went to the selva in Peru about a month and a half ago for my birthday. And it focused a lot on the diet, the food that you're putting in your body, the sugars, the alcohol. And from my perspective, the way I understood it is that everything is energy, and it can either be good or bad energy. So I do my best to take care of what I'm putting in my body, because this is my palace, this is my kingdom, let's take care of it. So I think it's very important to really watch what you eat. I found this app is called Bobby's Approved. Have you?
No.
Oh man, you got to see it.
Bobby's
Approved.
Okay.
It's an application. So you go and you scan the QR code with this app, and it'll tell you if it's Bobby approved or not.
Okay, I've seen similar ones like
Yucca.
Yucca, that one is from Europe. Yucca.
Okay, okay. So it's the same thing. And then it tells you, no, this is not good. And it tells you why it's not good for you. It tells you like blah, 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 and ingredients. And then it gives you options as to what you can get.
Okay, wonderful.
And I've been using it. I shared it with my family. So, especially for someone who doesn't do that much research, someone can do the work for me. And it's amazing. I've been sharing it with my family. Yeah. So health is important.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I think we've covered a lot of topics today. It's been great having you here and hear about your story, learn from all the things that you've experienced. And is there a final message, something that you would like to share, something that has helped you throughout your way, an advice, a quote, a theme of life?
Well, my theme of life is when you focus out and you dedicate to serving others, you find that I find that a lot of my problems tend to harmonize. So I think there's something behind there where, dedicate to serving others, and the rest of my life starts to work. And it's a reward system. So I dedicate myself to that, and it makes me feel good to be able to help people, however way I can. I'm not going to say I'm this big guru, but there's things about me that I've healed, and that people seek guidance for me for that because they've seen that change in me. So I'm very grateful for that, and I love doing that. So
thank you.
Yeah.
And we will always continue to heal and to find. It's part of the journey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mike. It was wonderful. And
yes.
I'm very curious about the program. And then,
I'll send you the information.
Yeah, I'll send it over here. And
you and the husband get to go.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I'd love to see you guys there.
Thank you, mi amor. Yago's been here supporting us, watching us, making sure all the cameras are working properly.
Thank you. Thank you, Yaro. And Yaro, thank you for inviting. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for having me here. It's been an honor, and it's been great. And I love this space you have here.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.